Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Friday, December 20th. That's right. For most of you, it's the end of the week, payday, right? So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, Amos and Jason pointed out two aspects that are kind of apart, but they're directly correlated. And that's how I want to round the week out. We've talked about, becoming a dealer, floor planning, warranty, but we haven't hit on the most important stuff when it comes to becoming a successful dealer. That got you going? Hang tight. Alrighty, welcome back. If you didn't already know it, my name is Eric, and yes, this is the weekday, Monday through Friday. Today is Friday, right? December 20th, 2024. Oh, almost to 25, aren't we? Christmas is coming, I keep reminding you. So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, we know how to become a dealer. We know what floor planning is and if it's going to work for us, right? And we know what warranty is and isn't. And we know about the gray area, and the larger we are, the more we're invited into that gray area. But if we're not selling a lot of units for the manufacturers slash the distributors that are handling it, we aren't going to get invited to the party. So we're going to have to be honest. See, that's the key. Honesty. If the manufacturer distributor decides to say, okay, Eric, we know it's the customer operator area, but we're in this gray area where we don't care. We're going to let you slide this through. That's on them, right? And that's what a lot of dealers do, the bigger ones, is they are invited into that gray area of being able to submit those warranties and get paid. But that leaves the rest of us trying to scramble to get money from our customer. And it's everything from holding machines as collateral until it gets paid. And as I explained in yesterday's video, when we first started, I had a stack of unpaid invoices. And why was that? Well, when I first started, we weren't too concerned about who our customer was. We just wanted a customer. So we got and took on everybody. But the downfall of that was we got people that had no way to pay for the repairs per se. All right. And that was on me because I tried working with people. I tried, so much a month, guys. Just keep making a payment of some kind. But it helped me too, in that these customers are not the customers you want. As much as you want to help them, if they can't help themselves, you sure in hell aren't going to be able to. So you start thinning them out and you start looking for customers that are in this area of, even if they question the bill, that's fine. But as long as they can afford it and they pay for it. But most of my customers have got faith in me. And all they want is for the damn mower to run all summer long without any headaches. And if they do have headaches, they don't want to deal with it. That's my job, right? I am their repair guy. And not only am I the repair guy, I'm also a friend of theirs. See, I make friends with all my customers. And you're going to do this when you first start out. You're not going to be too critical of who your customer is until you learn the valuable lesson of you need to pick and choose who you have for customers. The hard part is the unknowns. The people that come and say and act like they have the money, but in the end don't, right? We all go through it. All dealers go through this. So, Jason made a point of doesn't matter whether it's good times or bad times, used machines sell. And I want to add to that in that good used machines always sell. You know, especially when things are like they have been for the past 4 years. And what we're seeing right now is a lot of these companies in our area, like Big Lots is just recent, but we're seeing a rash of Chapter 11, Chapter 13s with companies. Arctic Cat in Minnesota is shutting down their plant because the market has softened. The market hasn't softened. People don't have the money to buy your product. The products have gotten so expensive that people can't afford them, is the real answer. And when it comes to people's budgets, those frills of I want instead of I need are the first to go, right? So when it comes to needing a lawnmower, people even during bad times and good times, but mostly during bad times, are not going to opt for a brand new lawnmower. They can't afford it. But if they can get into a $300 to $500 mower, riding lawnmower that's in really good shape, or a really good push mower under $100 that's self-propelled, that's our area. Okay, you may be higher in yours. That's where they're going to go. They're going to spend the money on a good used unit. And it's even better if you can provide some form of a warranty on that unit. If a good unit shows up where a customer has upgraded, and we see this a lot, because a lot of the dealers now that are floor planning are not taking in the customer's used machines. And you're going to ask, why aren't they buying it from you if it's brand new? Because I can't compete with the big box. I already know that. And I don't provide financing like the big box stores do. My customers would have to go to their local bank and ask for a loan, a personal loan, or a loan for the machine. And I've had customers do that on used machines too, ask for a personal loan like $500 and come pay it. I've also pick and choose who I do it with anymore, and that is I also put them out where the customer is paying $100 a month. But that customer knows that if they don't pay for it, we will come get it. And I have them sign a document that says just that. You know, I never used to do that, but I've learned over the years that a handshake isn't always what holds up in court or what holds up anywhere. See, I'm still old school. If you shake my hand and I tell you something, it's gospel. It's 100% there. And if I tell you I'm going to do something, I will do it unless they're throwing dirt on me. You don't see that anymore. People just talk out their ass. So you as a dealer, shop owner also have to cover your ass. And if you're selling new ones, you ain't got to worry because you've already got a contract, right? And a lot of the really bigger shops deal with banks, and they will do all the work for the customer when it comes to financing. And there are, like John Deere. John Deere has their own financing. A lot of times they farm it out to Wells Fargo, leasing on equipment. But the key is no matter what the economy is, good quality used mowers sell. where brand new ones don't. And I'm wondering how many of these repair shops, even in my area, that are floor planning and have a lot of extras still in crates, can they weather the storm? I hope so. I really hope so. For their sake. But my gut says they've gotten in over their head. The market has softened for the past 4 years. Post-COVID. COVID, everybody was out spending money like crazy, right? Government was tossing that money, especially if you had kids, right? And then unemployment, here's some more. But when the money train ran out, what happened? Now they bought all this crap and they're trying to get rid of it because they can't afford it. It's kind of odd, it's kind of like that deal of you get that diagnosis of cancer, right? And I had cancer before. And your first impulse is max out your credit cards and enjoy life as you're going down. But the problem would have been I survived. And that credit would have been that all those accounts. You get the picture? So don't turn away from the good used market. That's always a good seller during good and bad times. The brand new ones, good times, people are buying. Bad times, not so much. And it depends on the customers you're dealing with. If you're in a wealthy area, even during bad times, those folks have got money. Some people always make money, whether it's good or bad times. All right, so that brings us to Amos. Amos was talking about reputation. And that is so valuable. That is probably the best advice and information you are going to need and want. And that is, you're only as good as your word. And it also means anybody that works for you is an extension of you. And here's where the problems develop. If you get yourself a bad mechanic, or they may be a really good mechanic, but they have a bad attitude and they are doing somewhat shoddy work just to get the units out. That is an extension of you. Now, does it make the mechanic look bad if you're doing over? Yes. But that's not what you need to look at. You need to look at what is your reputation that's on the line with that customer. What are they thinking? They're not going to think that the mechanic does shoddy work. They're going to think you do shoddy work and that it's your reputation on the line. So you have to be very careful of who you hire. No different than a sales rep that decides that they're going to talk out their ass and make claims that are not true to get the sale. And then it's after the sale that the customer realizes that everything that they were told does not apply. Again, the customer may be pissed at the sales guy, right? But he's also going to look at your unit or your place of business, or she is, and tell everybody they know of how you screwed them. And you did. If you're telling people things that are untrue, whether it's warranty, it doesn't matter. It's the owner's reputation that's on the line. If you're a one-man band, you have control of it all. But most of us, we have to hire employees. So the employees are an extension of you. And as Amos said, His reputation is what carried him through and what made his business successful. That and that alone. And that meant that the people that he had working for him also were an extension of his reputation. When you have something go out of that shop, you damn well better put a stamp on it. And what do I mean by that? You don't just take the mechanic's word that it's 100%. I learned that the hard way. I will get, even with Claude, I will get on that lawnmower and I will run up and down the road and I will check it because it's my name is on that damn thing. And whether we sink or swim is based on how many times you screw your customer. Now, with a sales guy, and I've seen this with car dealerships, if you're in an area where you have a lot of customers and there are a lot of new customers, yeah, you could screw that each customer and have them not come back because you got a steady flow of new. But if you're in my area, you're dealing with the same customers. So if you put the screws to them, you've lost them and you've lost a valuable customer because they're so hard to get and retained. But my customers have always valued our shop because we speak our mind. We say it is what it is, right? And if we have a mower that we're putting out that isn't 100%, I got to look at why is it not 100%. And if it's because the customer is unwilling to put the money into it or the cost is more than what the lawnmower is worth, then the customer and I have a talk before it leaves. And it's one of those talks, look, it's not worth putting a lot of money into. And run it until she dies, and then we're going to have to look at a good used one or a new one. But with Jason and Amos, there is a direct correlation between the two because your reputation is on the line in both instances, right? And if your reputation gets tarnished, you're going to lose work, you're going to lose business, and what are you going to have then? Again, just take a look. Even in your area, it's probably happening. And that is a lot of them during COVID sold a lot of stuff and it cleared their inventory. And they started putting in preseason. And then another preseason because they couldn't get the first preseason. And another preseason because they were having trouble getting the second preseason. And then what happened? Manufacturers caught up. And that dealer was stuck with 3 preseason orders instead of 1. Even if that dealer tried to sell it at par, he can only sell just so many units. And this is on the distributor manufacturer too. You are to blame if you're watching this. That dealer should have not had only 1 preseason. And they should have had it on time. But you stuck them with 3. Because you had customers waiting for units. But when those units finally came in, the customer couldn't afford it. So now the dealer is stuck with it. So I'm going to start wrapping this up. You guys have a great weekend and stuff. But the key to any business is who's at the helm, the reputation that the business has, and how you treat your customers. There's a direct correlation, between all of them. And when it comes to try to get sales, use machines if they're good quality. I'm not talking about going on to Facebook Marketplace and buying a shoddy one and putting some money in it, just enough to limp it through and peddle it to your customer. No, I'm talking good machines that other customers that you have, which happens quite a bit with us, is they go to get a brand new one at the big box stores or the big dealers, and they won't take their used mower. and they come to me and say, Eric, are you interested? I'll give you a deal on it. And absolutely, they know I have to resell it to make money. And I could sit on it, especially if you bring it to me in the fall, a lawnmower. I got to sit on it all winter and house it, right? They don't eat anything, but they tie up money and space. Okay, so if you have any questions or put them in the comments. Anything you want to add, put them in the comments. You dealers, what do you think about what I'm talking about today? Is that kind of your take too, or have you got a different take? Because I'm always open to new ideas and directions that people come from. So on that note, you guys have a great Friday. You guys have a great weekend. I suppose I'll probably have something out in the morning. And thanks so much for watching.